Chapter 59. The Night of Wonder and Anger. Riel had thought about Hyun-ki, not forgetting his birthday, but felt bitter about how Hyun-ki looked at her and wrongly accused her. Then Akio seemed to be getting closer to Riel's attention because of his caring and thoughtful attitude. Natalie mentioned to Riel that a birthday charity ball their manager, Mrs. Echeverria, would attend tomorrow night was troubled, because she could not find a replacement hairstylist to fix her hair and makeup. Her secretary sought another HMUA, because Mr. Hinode had already hired the former. She mumbled, "I'm sorry for Mrs. Echeverria." Akio was prompt. The day of Hyun-ki's birthday, Riel could not avoid thoughts about him. But having recalled Hyun-ki's stern expression that night and accused her wrongly, she felt terrible and angry and thought, it is useless to text Hyun-ki to greet him. While pacing the floor, she saw her clock pointing to 7. She peeped out her window and saw Akio's maid washing his car. She hurriedly ran to the bathroom for a shower. After dressing in her uniform, she peeped out again, but Akio was not there yet. Riel felt like meeting Akio downstairs instead of waiting for him to arrive. So she decided to go down and wait for him by the stairs. She was opening her door when Akio was standing in front of her. She was so surprised but calmed herself when Akio smiled and apologized. "I'm sorry. I was about to knock when I heard the doorknob clicking. Have I scared you?" "No, not really. I was slightly surprised to see you in front of my door," Riel giggled. Then they both walked to his car and reminded Riel about the party. "I'll pick you up at the bank at 6, so we can go home together. The designer and the HMUA will come around 7, so you still have time to rest. The ball starts at 9 in the evening. It would be all right to come in a little late, since guests come in randomly, and every guest presents individually with their companions. I don't want my lady to stand by, but instead immediately presented." "Wow, you're so confident," Riel remarked. Akio teasingly winked at her. It was 7 in the evening. Riel had just come out from her shower when Akio's maid knocked on Riel's door. With her was the fashion designer with her line of clothes and the hairstylist. Riel was requested to pick the best evening dress she preferred. Riel smiled and then chose the lavender dress, which made the designer happy. The color was a mix of purple and white, well suited for Riel. "You will be one out of no one because lavender is the best for the evening, and it beholds you. You're so alluring and seductive. I assure you that Mr. Hinode will be proud to have you as his guest." Then the designer gave her a pair of earrings to match the color and style of her dress. "Mr. Hinode asked me to give this to you as part of the dress you wear tonight." After dressing, the HMUA put on her makeup and fixed her hair. They were so dazzled by Riel's beauty, and the designer commented, "You can be taken as a supermodel and even a Miss Universe candidate, Miss Riel, by your stature. You look so confident and beautiful." Riel felt honored by their praises. And then Akio Hinode appeared by the door and was wonderstruck by Riel's beauty. Akio and Riel arrived at a plush hotel where the birthday charity ball took place. There were still so many guests coming in. Akio asked Riel to wait a little longer until the guests into a few more minutes, and Akio got off his car and opened Riel's side. They were walking toward the lobby when Riel stood frozen. Her hands were shaky and cold as ice. Akio was stunned by Riel's mien and felt her hands sweating coldly. The birthday charity ball was for Hyun-ki. A giant poster stood by the entrance with his picture, and below was written, "Welcome to my birthday charity ball." Akio wondered and asked, "What's the matter, Riel?" "It was like you've seen something terrifying I don't want to see. Come inside." "Akio," stuttered Riel. "I don't understand, Riel. We just arrived. Was there something that scared you that you're backing out?" Riel looked at Akio and realized she was making him disappointed, after all the preparations he had made for her for this party. She calmed herself slowly, heaved a deep sigh, and faced Akio. "I'm so sorry, Akio. I didn't mean to ruin your mood, and I am not used to such a big crowd," was an excuse she thought of, then placed her hand around Akio's arm. "Don't let me go." "Huh? Tighten your grip on me, please." Akio had entered the ball with Riel, and while standing at the platform where their presence will be announced, Hyun-ki, standing below the platform stairs to receive his guests, was amazed and fascinated at Riel's presence. Hyun-ki's feelings toward Riel returned, his heart fluttering, waking his veins, and its blood came rushing like electricity creeping into his dead heart. That seemed like a flatline heart rate beginning to form spike-like waves. He couldn't take his face away from her. Riel's stunning looks locked his eyes on her countenance, and his body froze to a standstill. Akio approached him and offered a handshake, bringing Hyun-ki back to his senses. Akio saw Hayuaniki's expression toward Riel and smiled, thinking that Rieler's beauty could attract anyone. Enchanted by her, Akio thought that Hayuaniki was only one of those first time beheld by her attractiveness, unknowingly that Riel and Hayuaniki were past lovers. After the received guests were complete, Hayuaniki approached the program host to include Gabrielle Kalma in the dance with the celebrant. It was part of the ball that all single ladies would have an opportunity to dance with the eligible bachelor. Sarah, his girlfriend, was put first on the list and would also be the celebrant's last dance partner. But instead, Riel was placed at the end of the list as Hayuaniki's dance partner, concealed from Sarah. The program host announced the start of the dance with the celebrant. Male ushers fetched single ladies one at a time to dance. Riel felt odd about this dancing thing and began to feel nervous. Her hands were cold and began to shake. She thought she would get tapped soon, so she asked Akio if they could leave. "I'm not feeling well, Akio." She touched Akio's hand. Akio showed concern for Riel, so he called the male usher and gave him the envelope. "Here's my share for the charity ball. We're leaving with my guest now." The male usher was hesitant, but because he saw Riel look pale, he accepted the envelope and showed them the way for them to leave. Their early exit didn't escape Hayuaniki's sight, so he followed them, leaving the dance floor until they reached the car park and announced, "Mr. Hinode, why leave so early? The celebration is not over yet." Riel stopped without looking, while Akio faced him. "I'm sorry, Mr. Han, but my guest is not feeling well. I have to bring her home now." "Oh no, you won't." "Why the pretension, Riel? Were you afraid to face me?" asked Hayuaniki in a mocking tone, making Akio shocked. "Didn't your lover know about us? Were you afraid he'd discover that you and I had a past? You're terrific. What a good catch you got here." Hayuaniki kept walking closer to Riel as he was sizing up Akio, until Riel got the urge to slap him hard, his cheeks reddish. At the same time, Akio felt distasteful of Hayuaniki's words against Riel, so he grabbed Hayuaniki's collar and was about to punch him when Riel yelled, "How dare you, Hyun? Why were you so bitter that you could not move on? Were you not happy that you easily replaced me for someone else?" Riel looked reddish on her face because of restrained anger. "What is that you're saying? I was the one who was fast to replace you? That's so absurd," Akio interrupted. He came between them, pulling Riel behind him, and warned Hayuaniki angrily, "Watch your mouth, Han Hayuaniki. You're coming way above." Both men stared angrily at each other, not seeming to back down. Suddenly, Sarah appeared from behind. She was shocked to see Hayuaniki's altercation with another man. Then, she glanced at Riel. "Who are you people, and what is this? What are you quarreling about?" Sarah was confused. "Don't mess with us, Sarah. Please move away." Hayuaniki was already furious. Sarah was shocked. What? Hayuaniki grabbed Sarah from a distance and said, "Go home, Sarah. You have no business here. Could you leave us alone? You have nothing to do with us. Now go!" Hayuaniki yelled at the top of his voice. Sarah, though bewildered, walked away from the three. Sarah just stood away from a distance, watching, while she could not take her sight off Riel. Riel spoke, "Please, don't go this far, Hyun. We have nothing to talk about, and it's over. Leave me alone from now on." She took Akio's hand and walked away. "Our encounter never stopped here, Riel. We will meet again, and the next time we come face to face, you can never avoid me," said Hayuaniki, threatening. Akio faced him again, saying, "You don't have to threaten a lady. I am warning you, Han Hayuaniki. Face me, instead." Hayuaniki left the scene, feeling defeated, and saw Sarah standing in the dark. Sarah ran to him and hugged Hayuaniki in silence, and Hayuaniki reciprocated her hug and embraced her lovingly. They walked back to the hall, and the fundraising was already happening. Will Hayuaniki make good his last words to Riel? Keep following me on my YouTube channel and TikTok for the Windows of the Heart series with more exciting episodes. Thank you.